The fluorescent lights of Children's Memorial Hospital flickered above Marcus Webb's head as he sat in the sterile waiting room, his calloused hands trembling around a crumpled business card. On it, a phone number, the only thing standing between his daughter's survival and her death. The number belonged to a man on the black market who could arrange the sale of his kidney for $200,000, exactly what he needed for Lily's heart transplant. Marcus had never imagined his life would come to this. 3 years ago, he'd been a different man, a construction foreman with a beautiful wife, a healthy daughter, and a modest house in the suburbs. Then Sarah died in a car accident, leaving him alone with 5-year-old Lily. 6 months later, Lily collapsed at kindergarten, and the doctors delivered news that shattered what remained of his world. Dilated cardiomyopathy, a rare condition that was destroying her tiny heart. Without a transplant, she had maybe a year to live. The insurance company had denied the claim, calling it a pre-existing condition despite the fact that Lily had been perfectly healthy when Sarah was alive and they'd had different coverage. Marcus had sold everything: the house, the car, Sarah's jewelry, even his wedding ring. He'd taken out loans, started a GoFundMe that barely raised $10,000, and worked 3 jobs until his body screamed for mercy. But it wasn't enough. It was never enough. Now Lily lay in room 304, her small body connected to machines that beeped and hummed, keeping her alive. Her 8th birthday was in 2 weeks, and Marcus had promised her they'd have cake. He didn't tell her he wasn't sure she'd live to see it. "Mr. Webb?" A nurse appeared in the doorway. "Dr. Peterson wants to see you." Marcus stood, his legs heavy as lead. Dr. Peterson never had good news anymore. The doctor's office smelled of coffee and antiseptic. Dr. Peterson, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes that had seen too much suffering, gestured for Marcus to sit. "Marcus, I'll be direct, because I respect you too much to dance around this. Lily's condition has deteriorated faster than we anticipated. She needs that transplant within the next 3 weeks." Or, she didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. Marcus felt the world tilt. 3 weeks. 21 days. "I'm working on the money," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "I'll have it." Dr. Peterson's expression shifted to concern. "Marcus, whatever you're planning, I'll have it," he repeated, more forcefully this time. That evening, Marcus sat beside Lily's bed, watching her sleep. Even in rest, she looked fragile, her skin pale against the white hospital sheets, dark circles under her eyes that no child should have. She stirred, and her eyes fluttered open. "Daddy? Hey, baby girl, how are you feeling? Tired?" She smiled weakly. "But I had a good dream. Mommy was there and she said everything would be okay." Marcus's throat tightened. "Your mommy was a smart lady. Daddy, when I get better, can we get a puppy? A small one that can sleep in my bed?" "Sure, sweetheart, whatever you want. And can we go to the beach?" "I don't remember what the ocean sounds like." Marcus pressed his lips together, fighting back tears. "We'll do all of that. I promise." After Lily fell back asleep, Marcus pulled out the business card again. His phone felt heavy in his hand as he began to dial the number. But before he could finish, a commotion erupted in the hallway. Raised voices, hurried footsteps, and then the door to Lily's room burst open. A woman swept in, and Marcus's first thought was that she looked utterly out of place in this world of sickness and despair. She wore an elegant navy suit that probably cost more than Marcus made in 3 months. Her dark hair pulled back in a sleek ponytail, her posture radiating authority and confidence. Behind her trailed 2 assistants and a flustered hospital administrator. "I'm so sorry, Mr. Webb," the administrator stammered. Miss Chen insisted. "It's fine." The woman, Miss Chen, cut him off with a wave of her hand. Her eyes were fixed on Lily's sleeping form, and something in her expression softened. "Leave us." The administrator hesitated, then retreated, closing the door behind him. Marcus stood, positioning himself between this stranger and his daughter. "Who are you, and what are you doing in my daughter's room?" The woman turned her attention to him, and Marcus was struck by the intensity of her gaze. Her eyes were dark, intelligent, and swimming with an emotion he couldn't quite identify. "My name is Victoria Chen. I'm the CEO of Chen Technologies." When Marcus showed no recognition, she continued, "I heard about your daughter's case through certain channels. I know you're planning to sell your kidney in the black market." Marcus's blood ran cold. "I don't know what you're talking about, and please don't insult my intelligence. The man whose number you have on that card in your pocket. He works for an organization I've been helping the FBI investigate. They flagged your name when you made contact." Victoria's expression remained neutral. but her voice held a note of urgency. What you're planning is not only illegal, it's dangerous. The surgery would be performed in unsanitary conditions by doctors who've lost their licenses. Even if everything went perfectly, you'd be recovering while your daughter needs you most, and there's a significant chance you wouldn't survive at all. Marcus slumped back into his chair. Then what do you suggest? Let her die? She's 8 years old, 8. She should be worried about homework and making friends, not whether she'll live to see her next birthday. I'm here to offer you an alternative. I don't want your charity. It's not charity. Victoria moved closer, and Marcus noticed the tremor in her hands, the only sign that she wasn't as composed as she appeared. 5 years ago, I had a daughter. May, she was 7 when she was diagnosed with leukemia. I had all the money in the world, the best doctors, every possible resource, but none of it mattered. I lost her anyway. The grief in her voice was raw, real. Marcus's defensive posture softened slightly. Victoria continued, her eyes never leaving Lily's sleeping form. After May died, I threw myself into work. I built my company into a billion-dollar empire. I've acquired properties on 3 continents, closed deals worth hundreds of millions, won awards and accolades, and not a single day has gone by when I haven't felt the emptiness of coming home to a house without her laughter. Money can't buy everything, Mr. Webb, but when it can buy something that matters, only a fool wouldn't use it. Why would you help us? You don't know me. You don't know Lily. Victoria was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was barely audible. Because I couldn't save May, but maybe I can save your daughter. Because every time I see a child suffering, I see my little girl. Because the universe took from me, and maybe I can give back to someone else. She reached into her bag and pulled out a leather folder, placing it on the table beside Lily's bed. Here's what I'm proposing. I'll pay for Lily's transplant, the full cost, including all medical expenses before and after surgery. I'll ensure she has the best care available. In exchange, you'll marry me. Marcus stared at her as if she'd lost her mind. What? A marriage of convenience. My board has been pressuring me to settle down, to present a more family-oriented image for the company. There are also tax benefits and certain legal advantages to being married. We would maintain separate residences, live separate lives. After 2 years, we'll divorce quietly and you'll receive a settlement that will ensure Lily's continued care and your financial stability for life. You'll also sign a prenuptial agreement, of course. This is insane. This is practical. You need money for your daughter. I need a solution to a corporate image problem. We can help each other. Marcus stood abruptly, pacing the small room. So, I'm just supposed to marry a complete stranger? Pretend to be something I'm not? Use my sick daughter as a prop in some corporate theater? Victoria's jaw tightened. You make it sound sordid. I'm offering your daughter a chance at life. What you're planning, selling your kidney to criminals who might kill you, that's sordid. This is a business arrangement that benefits both parties. Love isn't a business arrangement, and desperation isn't love either, but it's what's driving you to make terrible decisions. Victoria's voice rose slightly, her composure cracking. Look, I'm not asking you to love me. I'm not even asking you to like me. I'm asking you to accept help in a way that allows you to keep your dignity and allows me to honor my daughter's memory by saving a child. Is your pride really worth more than Lily's life? The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. He looked at his daughter, at the machines keeping her alive, at her small chest rising and falling with each labored breath. Victoria was right. His pride wasn't worth a damn thing compared to Lily's life. I need to think about it. You have 24 hours. After that, the offer expires. Victoria pulled out a business card, her real one this time, and placed it next to the folder. My private number is on there. Call me when you decide. She turned to leave, then paused at the door. For what it's worth, Mr. Webb, I understand why you'd be suspicious. In your position, I would be too. But I'm not trying to take advantage of you. I'm trying to save a little girl who reminds me of the one I lost. That's all. After she left, Marcus opened the folder. Inside were hospital forms, legal documents, and a prenuptial agreement. Everything was laid out clearly, professionally. 2 years of marriage, separate lives, financial security for Lily's future. It was methodical, cold, transactional. It was also the only way his daughter would survive. Marcus didn't sleep that night. He sat in the uncomfortable hospital chair, watching Lily breathe, weighing impossible choices. By morning, he'd made his decision. When he called Victoria's number, she answered on the first ring. I have conditions, Marcus said. I'm listening. Lily can never know this is fake. As far as she's concerned, we're a real family. I won't have her thinking she's part of some business deal. Agreed. And if at any point this arrangement becomes harmful to her emotionally, psychologically, in any way, we end it immediately. Consequences be damned. Agreed. Anything else? Marcus took a deep breath. Yeah, I want to know about your daughter, about May. If we're going to do this, if we're going to use your daughter's memory as the reason, then I want to know who she was, not as a justification for a business deal, but as a person. She deserves that much. There was silence on the other end of the line. When Victoria spoke again, her voice was thick with emotion. She loved astronomy, wanted to be an astronaut. She had a telescope, and we'd stay up late looking at the stars, and she'd tell me about all the planets she was going to visit someday. She was brave and funny and so full of light that even when she was sick, even when the treatments made her weak, she'd try to make the nurses laugh. She sounds amazing, she was. And I failed her. No, Marcus said firmly. Disease failed her. Death failed her. But you loved her, and that matters. Victoria was quiet for a moment. Thank you for that. She cleared her throat, her professional tone returning. So, do we have a deal? Marcus looked at Lily, at his daughter, who deserved every chance at life. Yeah, we have a deal. The wedding took place in a hospital chapel 3 days later. It was a small ceremony, just the two of them and the required witnesses. Victoria wore a simple cream dress, Marcus a borrowed suit. There was no music, no flowers, no celebration. Just two broken people making an impossible bargain. When the officiant said, "You may kiss the bride," Marcus and Victoria exchanged an awkward glance. They settled for a brief, formal kiss that meant nothing and everything at the same time. As Victoria signed the marriage certificate, her hand steady and sure, Marcus noticed a gold locket around her neck. Through the glass, he could see a picture of a little girl with pigtails and a gap-toothed smile. "That's Mai?" he asked softly. Victoria touched the locket gently. "Yes, I never take it off." "Good. She should be here for this." Something shifted in Victoria's expression, a crack in the armor she wore so well. For just a moment, Marcus saw past the CEO, past the Ice Queen, to the grieving mother underneath. "Thank you," she whispered. The money came through within hours. Lily was added to the top of the transplant list, and 2 weeks later, a miracle happened. A match was found. Marcus held Lily's hand as they wheeled her into surgery, whispering promises he prayed he could keep. Victoria stood in the corner of the pre-op room, silent and pale, her fingers pressed against her locket. "Will you be here when I wake up?" Lily asked, her voice small and scared. "I'm not going anywhere, baby girl. Both of you." Marcus glanced at Victoria, who stepped forward and took Lily's other hand. "Both of us. I promise." The surgery took 9 hours. Marcus paced the waiting room like a caged animal, while Victoria sat perfectly still, her eyes closed, lips moving in what might have been prayer. When Dr. Peterson finally emerged, exhausted but smiling, they both stood. "The transplant was successful. She's going to make it." Marcus's legs gave out, and he sank into a chair, covering his face with his hands as years of fear and grief and desperation finally broke through. He sobbed openly, his whole body shaking. He didn't see Victoria move, but suddenly she was there, her arm around him, holding him as he fell apart. And then he realized she was crying too, her tears falling into his hair, her body trembling against his. "She made it," Victoria whispered. "She made it." They stayed like that for a long time, two strangers bound by grief and hope, finding comfort in each other's brokenness. The months that followed were strange and complicated. Victoria had a room prepared in her penthouse for Lily's recovery, complete with a hospital bed, private nurses, and every comfort a child could want. Marcus stayed there too, in a guest room down the hall, maintaining the illusion of marriage. But something unexpected happened. The pretend family started feeling real. Victoria, who had buried herself in work for 5 years, began coming home early. She'd bring books for Lily, teach her about stars the way she'd once taught May. Marcus would find them on the balcony at night, the telescope set up. Victoria's voice soft as she pointed out constellations. Marcus, in turn, taught Victoria how to cook something she'd never learned. Having always relied on personal chefs, they'd make simple meals together, and Victoria would laugh when she burned the pasta or oversalted the soup. It was the first time Marcus had heard her laugh, really laugh, and the sound did something strange to his heart. Lily blossomed under their care. Her color returned, her energy came back, and her smile, that beautiful, gap-toothed smile that Marcus had been so afraid he'd never see again, became a permanent fixture. She called Victoria Tori, and Victoria's eyes would grow soft every time she heard it. One evening, 3 months after the transplant, Marcus found Victoria crying in her study, May's photo album open on her desk. "I'm sorry," she said quickly, wiping her eyes. "I don't usually. It's okay." Marcus sat beside her, looking at the photos of a laughing little girl. She really was beautiful. She would have liked Lily. They would have been friends. "Lily's lucky to have you in her life. I'm lucky to have you." Victoria looked at him, surprise evident in her expression. "We have a business arrangement." "Do we? Because it doesn't feel like business anymore." "Not to me, Marcus. I'm not asking for anything. I just want you to know that what you've done, what you've given us, it's more than money. You've given Lily a life, yes, but you've also given her something else. Love, real love, and I think you've given yourself something too." Victoria's hand trembled as she closed the photo album. "I'm afraid," she admitted quietly, "I'm afraid to care this much again. When May died, it nearly destroyed me. If something happened to Lily, if I lost another child, but you haven't lost her, she's alive because of you. And yes, loving someone means risking pain, but it also means choosing life over fear." Victoria was quiet for a long time. Then, hesitantly, she reached out and took Marcus's hand. "I don't know how to do this. The real family thing. I only know corporate mergers and business strategies. Lucky for you, I'm an excellent teacher." Marcus smiled. Lesson 1. Families aren't built on contracts. They're built on small moments, shared meals, bedtime stories, burnt pasta, and telescope nights. And lesson 2? Lesson 2 is that it's okay to be scared. It's okay to grieve what you lost while still opening your heart to what you might find. Over the next year, the lines between their arrangement and reality blurred completely. Victoria taught Lily about business and science and showed her that women could be powerful and brilliant. Marcus taught Victoria about blue-collar resilience and the beauty of simple things. Together, they created something neither had expected. A real family, born from tragedy and necessity, but sustained by genuine love. On the day that would have marked their divorce, exactly 2 years after the hospital chapel wedding, they sat together on the balcony while Lily slept peacefully in her room, new heart beating strong and steady. "The papers are ready," Victoria said, not looking at him. "You could be free of this arrangement. Take your settlement, start fresh. Is that what you want? What I want doesn't matter. We had a deal." Marcus turned her face toward him gently. "It matters to me." "Victoria, what do you want?" Her eyes filled with tears. "I want to keep pretending. Except it's not pretending anymore, is it? I love that little girl in there like she's my own." She stopped, unable to finish. "You what?" "I've fallen in love with you two, somewhere between burnt pasta and constellation lessons, between watch you be an amazing father and feeling you hold me when I cried. I fell, and I know that wasn't part of the deal. I know it complicates everything." Marcus kissed her, stopping her words. It wasn't like their first kiss, clinical and meaningless. This was real and deep and full of all the things they'd been too scared to say. When they pulled apart, Marcus smiled. "I love you too. I think I started falling the moment you walked into Lily's hospital room like an avenging angel, ready to save my daughter. You're brave and brilliant and broken in some of the same ways I am. And I don't want to be free of this arrangement. I want to be bound to you, for real this time." Victoria laughed and cried at the same time. "So what do? We tear up the divorce papers. We have a real wedding if you want. We build a real life. We love Lily together. And maybe if you're open to it someday, we talk about adoption."